We first worked with Module on the Gripshift soundtrack, so early on in the development of Shatter we knew we wanted to work with him.
It was a very collaborative process of working with She to develop the soundtrack.
The vision for the soundtrack was to have something that matched the visuals of the game extremely closely. We were quite inspired to create something that became a very engrossing experience.
Musically, I'm really interested in creating musical worlds, kind of like audio painting, where it's like you take all these elements and you create something that invokes images and thoughts. There's like 3 or 4 moods that I really wanted to create with the soundtrack. I mean, the main one was this feeling of nostalgia.
We really wanted to take cues from the retro games, the Amiga and Commodore classics.
When you're playing the game, you feel like you're kind of playing those old school games, you know, when you were a kid and you'd go to the arcade and they have heaps of old machines, and you know, it's a really exciting place to go, and you know, all the music and the lights, everything was quite vibrant.
We tried to create a wide range of emotions and mood with the soundtrack that match each level and world as you're travelling through the game and the story's been revealed to you.
So it'll be like, what's going on in the world, what's the energy or vibe or that it needs to be for that world, and then, you know, build up in the drum beats and start adding in bass lines and tempos and start developing the actual sound of that world that's going on. Sort of layering in drums. So that kind of got the forward movement for the track, kind of, you know, getting together. And built myself a lot of virtual guitar amps basically, which let me get away with doing some really cool, like, you know, glam rock 1980s lead guitar solos. And they really kind of
We actually had Module create not only the in-game music, but he also created the sound effects to match that.
I really tried to make the sound effects work really well with the music, so they don't sound like there's the music and here's the sound effects, and that it's really important that the music comes across because the music's part of the journey of the whole game.
One of the great things he started to add in, we really wanted to play up, is the personality of Bat 1138.
I referenced a lot of science fiction films and lots of kind of classic robot vocalization. So I've got this main sound here, which is pretty much at the core of most of the Shatter tracks, is this cool little robot noise.
Once the Shatter soundtrack had been worked on for many months and the tracks were at a near or final stage, we took them into STL Studios in Wellington for a professional mix and mastering session.
Hey everyone, how you doing? My name's Module and we're up at STL Level 2 Studios mixing the Shatter soundtrack, so come and check it out.
The mix master session is a great process where you take the tracks into a professional studio and you disassemble all the distinct pieces of the track and you reassemble them through the master process. You're getting the bass at a fuller level, tweaking the whole soundscape of that particular track just to make it perfect.
We got it to a point where it really just resonated and sounded cool. Rather than just background music, it actually became, the whole soundtrack became its own standalone piece, so it works on its own as well as it works totally complementary to the game as well. You know, if it's a cool piece of music on its own, then it's going to generally work well for the game. The Shatter soundtracks really allowed me to really do a type of music that I've always really wanted to do creatively, which is a really futuristic, fun, rocking, electro kind of driven soundtrack. I'd love to make music for more games. I mean, it's just doing this has really triggered off a whole lot of thoughts. Game soundtracks are awesome because, you know, you're really working with a lot of people and working to create these worlds that really suit the visual stuff, and that really excites me as a medium.
We really wanted to push the boundaries of what had been done in a download game around the soundtrack, and I think we've done a great job of that in Shatter.